And welcome to another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel Show. On this show, as you know, it's like no other show out there. We do weird facts. We do things I hate. We do business ideas that I thought of that maybe making money, maybe lose money, but they are definitely out there. Things that are wrong, things in the podcast, and my final thoughts. And we always have an amazing guest. And there is one right here that I'm very excited to introduce. Her name is Dr. Dot. Are you really a doctor? Or you like a what's his name? The doctor that the former president's doctor's wife.
Is Dr. Dre a real doctor? I mean, if you look up the word doctor in the dictionary, it says to repair something that is broken or flawed, and I repair broken and flawed people. So I got the name Dr. from Dr. Dot from Frank Zappa. He called me Dr. Dot. So if Frank Zappa called me Dr. Dot, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, you can get it from him. That's fine. So you let's hear a little about your history. Where did you get started?
It started when I was little. My mom always asked me to walk on her back and massage her feet after work. And that's how it started, really. She would be watching Merv Griffin and I'd be walking on her back. And she said that my hands weren't strong enough. So I started biting her back. She told me to bite her back. So that's how the whole bite massage started. And massage has always been my hobby. So I'm one of the lucky people who have turned my hobby into a career.
So you started with your mom.
Yeah.
How old were you when your mom told you to do this?
When your parents ask you to walk on your back, you're 5, 6 years old. So I've been doing it as long as I can remember.
Did you go for any formal training on massage?
Yeah, I eventually went to massage school later on when I figured out I can actually well, Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones told me that my massage was so good, and he took me on Rolling Stones tours, three of them actually. Then I went and got my diplomas.
Wait a
So
minute.
like
You're
it started
wondering,
out as a
you
hobby.
are, so Howie, so you're already massaging some of the top musicians out there. How did that come about? Where did that come from? I mean, you're
Well,
not even a massage therapist officially, but here you are already doing the celebrities out there. That's amazing.
my parents would always take me to concerts because they were conservative hippies. There is such a thing, people who are in the military, but they also listen to hippie music. So I was brought up in a conservative hippie family, which is so strange, but it does exist. And so they would bring me to concerts. I remember when I mean, I don't remember, but when I was 2, supposedly they brought me to see Melanie, and then we saw the Grateful Dead, and we saw Ted Nugent and Rush, and my dad would just bring me to every concert wherever we lived up and down the East Coast, and we would go to I seen Black Sabbath, Boys to Call. I saw Frank Zappa in 1980. I was like, I think I was 12.
So
Um,
what was the first celebrity massage you did, or how did that come about?
the first one was Def Leppard in 1983.
And you were how
And
old? You were 15 years old, then I would say.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how did that come about?
Well, I skipped school. Me and my girlfriend skipped school, and we went to the Hampton Coliseum because I lived in Virginia Beach at the time. And we didn't have tickets, and my girlfriends were dying to meet Def Leppard. And so we just skipped school and went during the daytime, figuring it's better to beat the rush. And we bumped into the guitar player in the parking lot that day, Phil Collins. He was like on his way to his rent-a-car. And we asked for autographs and all that stuff. And then he asked us to take him shopping to an Army Navy surplus store. And so we spent the day with him and we're like, well, we don't have tickets. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. I go, but I give the best massage in the world. He's like, all right, then. So I massaged his back and the rest of the band. And we kept in touch, even though there's no cell phones back then. I would just go to the next show, the next show, and the next show. And so through word of mouth, I got my hands on all of these celebrities, like everybody.
So it started with just Def Leppard. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for skipping school, see, I guess the point is skipping school. People don't know the benefit of skipping school. And
Yeah.
so now you're doing Def Leppard, and then you this becomes a career at like not at 15, I'm sure. You just went to the concerts, and then it doesn't become a career till later on, I would say, right? Is that what
I,
happens?
yeah, I massaged for free from 83 to 94 just to get into shows, Frank Zappa, The Grateful Dead, like so many times. I've seen The Grateful Dead over 300 times for free. Like I would just go to everything and the Ramones and so on. And the first time I ever got paid was in 94. Charlie Watts said, "How much do I owe you?" And I was like, "Nothing, like I should be paying you. You're a Rolling Stone." And he's like, that's nonsense. No one's going to take you seriously, Dot, unless you take money for your massage. And I was like, I don't even know how much to charge. So he paid me, and then he told his manager he wanted to bring me on tours. I lived in Berlin in 94. I lived in Germany like 20 years. It's a really long story. But so I went on three Rolling Stones European tours, and I was
And
like, wow,
you were their massager for the tours, all of
yeah,
them.
I went on the whole tour massaging not just the Stones, but their backup singers and caterers and everything. Like I got like 4 hours of sleep per day, but
Wow. Do they pay you well, the Rolling Stones?
actually, the manager was complaining that I charged too much. I'm like, I'm just calling the hotel asking how much do they charge for massage. And I was, I guess it would be like back then in 94, I was asking for 150 Deutschmarks, whatever. And it wasn't that much, but they were like, people want everything for free.
Well, yeah. And so you would take, how long does it take to do a massage? Like the longest and the
I mean,
shortest?
usually want to start out with an hour, like anything less than an hour is rushed and it's I prefer 2 hours, 1 hour just on my feet. So, most of the time people want an hour or 90 minutes. But
I'm a
sometimes,
I'm a fairly hyper person, so I would get a half an hour.
well, it would take you a half hour just to relax, and then you could enjoy the second half hour. I know customers like you. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. That's why I start out with my feet being done. I want my feet done for an hour so I can look on my phone and I just lay there and get my feet done and then I'm calm and then I can get my back done. Because I am also too hyper to someone starts on my back, I'm like thinking too much. It takes like a half hour to shut off.
I
If
mean,
you're
and how about these celebrities? Do they have a lot of stress in their body that you're finding more than the regular people when it comes to massages? Or is
well,
it just,
drummers, they don't just want massage. Drummers need massage or they can't continue. Just can't because they move so much and they lose so much of their minerals from the sweat when they're on stage. They're just exhausted. So and the singers, people on tour generally need massage more than anyone else, actually, because they're sleeping in shitty beds and they're changing their sleeping routine every day and they're on the bus all the time and they're rehearsing and stuff. So people on tour need a massage more than anyone else, in my opinion. You know,
like I know Phil Collins, but drummers, he can't play anymore with his
I
back.
know.
Serious problem with that situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had massages when he's on tour and stuff like that.
I
Maybe.
don't know if he ever got one. Unfortunately, my company, now I have a company because I got so popular that like, the Stones wanted me here, but then Robert Plant wanted me there. So I started testing out other massage therapists. And now I have almost 900 on my website. So it's like
That's
I'm,
amazing.
I'm a massage pimp now. But I mean, we do have chiropractors, so that's why maybe you got confused because we do
Yes,
have,
well, I was told by somebody else that what do they call what a chiropractor does? They
they
push
adjust you.
adjust you, yes. And they told me you do adjustments. And so when they told me you do adjustments, I was thinking chiropractor.
Oh, I
Initially, I
adjust
thought
people's attitudes. That's for fucking sure.
now if an entertainer is on drugs, I don't think I'm sure you may have hit a few of those, and they're doing
Oh, I've seen a lot of
drugs.
people on drugs. I am super sober and I'm very much against drugs and any kind of pills, including aspirin. Like I'm really against any kind of drugs. And I highly suggest people get healthy because going into the hospital, you never know what's going to happen nowadays. So the best thing to do is take care of your health. Your health is your wealth. You don't want to be on any pills, mandatory pills. Um, I'm a big, um, I just don't like big pharma. I don't like medications. I don't like self-medicating with pot or alcohol or any of that stuff. Like if you need that stuff to get by in life, there's a problem.
Well, no, no reason I mentioned that. That's a great topic. We'll get to that in a minute. But I was just going to ask you because I was saying that you're doing massage with people, and some of the people probably some of the little wildlife, and you're giving them massage. And if they're on drugs, it's a different state probably than they would be, let's say, in a normal state without that. Am I correct with that assumption?
Yeah, I mean, in the 80s and the 90s, there was more of a drug problem, and people have learned since then, thanks to the internet, there's more information out there. But so now rock stars tend to grab a massage rather than drugs.
Wow.
Honestly, like the early 90s, I saw certain bands all in one day. They would do ecstasy, coke, weed the whole time. Weed was going on and drinking and like Quaaludes and stuff. And I'm just like, I get sick after one glass of wine. Like I can't handle alcohol at all. I don't understand how they're still alive. But like
Well,
nowadays, they just want they order a massage rather than a six pack, honestly. And when people are like, oh wow, the rock stars are all dropping dead. Well, have you seen their life in the 70s? Look at Mick Jagger. He's still up and
I don't
going.
make I that amazes me. Mick Jagger's Mick Jagger. I just respect. I just respect that he survived all this. I mean, I've heard so
I
many
mean, he did
people.
smoke. He used to smoke cigarettes. You'll see lots of pictures of the Stones in the early 60s smoking cigarettes, but he
He did
quickly
every
learned,
he did
you know,
everything. I mean, he did everything there is to do. I think, and he
Not
still
Mick.
was.
No, no,
Really?
not Mick. No, he's
Oh,
always been like very money orientated. Brian Jones and Keith Richards did the drugs, but Mick is pretty much too vain to do drugs, and he's a businessman. Don't let him fool you. He's all about the business. So you
well,
can't
yeah.
you cannot focus and be the leader and be fucked up. You can't. I mean, and look at Roger Waters. He might have done some tripping in the 60s, but he's 80 and he's still, alive and well. And there's a lot of people like that. Like
Some of
Mick
the
is not, and people always thought Frank Zappa was a druggie. Excuse me, he was extremely anti-drug. You can't make that kind of music and be fucked up. Like, oh, Pink Floyd must have been so fucked up. How, though? You can't make that kind of music and be fucked up. They're not.
people say that the artists sometimes want to experiment with, like, I guess the Beach Boys are an example. There's an album called Pet Boy where they were like on acid and stuff, and they got all the crazy music together. And people wondering how they did it like that. I mean, I've never used drugs other than alcohol myself, but I have a different take on that. But before we get to that, we're gonna go back to a quick commercial, and then I got some weird facts for you. Are you
Okay,
ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, we're back from that commercial. And so we're talking about commercials. Nike in 2001 did an ad called I Am the Bullet. The only problem, it featured Oscar Pistorius, who eventually shot his girlfriend. So it was a very bad ad for them.
Wait, Nike made a commercial that said, I'm the boss.
I Am the Bullet.
The bullet.
And it featured Oscar Pistorius. I don't know if you remember him. He was a South African runner who eventually shot his girlfriend.
Oh,
So
um,
it was really not a good ad for them.
I hate Nike, so I don't pay attention. I seriously think there's some kind of mafia shit going on with Nike. I
Amazing how
don't.
people like with marketing. It's unbelievable what they buy. I got one more piece for you. This is very interesting. Paul Hogan unhooked a piece of art from the gallery, a major gallery. It's a major gallery, and he walked out, and he was never prosecuted. He just like walked out with a piece of art in the art museum. He just walked right out the door like he didn't care at all. Isn't that crazy?
Never heard about that.
Yeah. So you're very interesting. Pick. See, I would say I'm a pragmatist with all this stuff when it comes to medicine. If I have a stomach problem and my stomach's bothering me, I love Gas X. To be perfectly honest, I love that other stuff. Gas X. I love Gas X. It was like one of my favorite first medicines. I used to have gas problems. If I have gas problems, boom, I take this medicine. I'm done. No pain. Good. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
Gas X?
Gas X. Very good. I
Aren't they little pills that you take so you don't want to fart in
doable.
front of your friend?
No. It's so if your stomach's like gassy and it's pain, it's bloating, and you just take it and it's gone. See, I think medicine has a role. I think everything has a role. I think vitamins have a role. I think medicine for people who have mental health issues. I know for a fact it helps people that have like schizophrenia or have depression. It helps people out. I'm not saying that food and exercise and massage is all good. I just believe there's a combination thereof, you might say. I think it's very funny because I think we share an interesting combination here about these vaccines. I know you're not a big fan of vaccines as a whole. But again, I'm pragmatist. Some vaccines are good that prevented smallpox. I guess is a good vaccine. We got that one. I think this one COVID vaccine where they forced it on people, which is horrible. They did that. I mean, well, the right to do what they want, as they say, to that part of their body when taking shots. And that was a little overdone. And then I have a very funny story. Someone, a loved one I know, took a flu vaccine. And what did they get? They got the flu. So I asked my other loved one and said to them, hey, they got the flu. And he's like, oh, yeah, but it won't be that long now. It'll only be 2 days instead of, 8 days. And I'm like, there's no way to prove that this vaccine is doing good or bad because they already got the flu. It's like when you got COVID, they say, oh, well, you would have been worse if you didn't take the vaccine. But it was like, you still got the COVID. So, like, what was the point? Because they usually take a vaccine to prevent it. And how do you know it's any better or worse? So it was like, it was
Well,
weird. If a
Do you
vaccine
remember how
works, you can get it. That's my point.
Bill Gates would, you know, have an antivirus for his computer? He sold the Norton antivirus thing. I personally believe they would put viruses on the computer, not MacBook. I use MacBook. I'm talking about like a Dell or whatever, his Microsoft. So they would have viruses all the time, and you would have to pay to get rid of that virus. That's why I don't like, Dell and that. And so they create the virus and then they offer the antivirus. It's the same thing. It's just business for him. Is Bill Gates a doctor? No. So what the fuck is he involved with medications for? Like I don't like mandatory anything. I don't like mandatory anything. I personally hate the government. Both sides, red, blue, right, left. I hate them all.
No, you're.
I,
I think
I
we
am
should.
no
I
wing.
think.
I'm
I
not
think.
right wing, I'm not left wing. I am no wing.
Well, you're doing a really successful life. Everything was going good. I think if I'm correct, you massaged a guy named Howard Stern who used to love Howard Stern when it was growing up, but then he went a little woke himself, which is really shocking. Because I remember growing up and like everybody saying people were trying to get rid of Howard Stern because he was so profanity. I would turn the channel when it bothered me, to be honest with you. But I mean, I never said he should be boycotted and all that stuff. And then Howard Stern became the person who all of a sudden said certain people shouldn't be in the air, certain people should be forced to vaccines. And I'm like, how did this guy who I fought for basically, stood up for him, he became like this like person who like wants government in your face all the time. And I'm like, what are you
He
doing?
used
Who's
to
going
be
for it?
anti-establishment and now he is the establishment. It happens to probably, I mean, I think it's because of his wife. Like, she guided him just like Daryl Hannah has guided Neil Young. They were anti-establishment and then they marry this beautiful blonde woman and suddenly they're like can't think anymore and they do whatever the woman wants. They become whatever the woman wants. So in other words, I call Howard Stern Coward Stern because he lost his whole audience. Like he used to be edgy and giving the middle finger to the establishment. And now he is the establishment. When you tell people, fuck your freedom, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Howard Stern have done, then they have lost me completely. I mean, when I was on Howard Stern's show in 2002, they literally said, show us your tits or we're going to rake you over the coals because you're not famous. So we have to have some kind of shock about you. Your story about massaging rock stars isn't enough. We need to see your tits or we're going to seriously rake you over the coals. I said, bring it on. I'm not afraid of you. And I fucking stood up to the whole room of assholes. And at the end, he kind of was like, wow, you really held your own. I respect you now. And it's like, whatever. He's not a shock jock anymore. He has been totally replaced. Joe Rogan has smoked him. And
You
when
know what's
someone
funny
tells,
about Howard Stern about that? I didn't mean to interrupt, but here's a guy that got away with that whole like the Me Too movement thing. And he really pushed the edges on what people, women coming at. He made
oh,
really
yeah.
he really treated people like pieces of meat and
Yeah.
and and
Yeah, how
and,
come no one ever, he treated me like a piece of meat. How come no one ever me too'd him? Certain people are above the law. You know how they say no one's above the law? Certain people are above the law.
yeah, a lot of people got a
Don't get
lot
me
of
started
people
about
going.
that, but there are people who are above the law.
Yeah, that's interesting because
He
I
had
mean,
women farting and like showing their tits and their ass and like I lived in Germany at the time, so I wasn't watching his show all the time, but like my sister would tell me about clips and I would see clips online afterwards and it's like him and Jimmy Kimmel.
right,
They were
right,
both degrading women. I mean, I'm not a feminist at all. I love men so much. Like we can't live without men. They build shit. They do stuff. I am not a feminist. I am team men. So don't think I'm like, oh, well, that's women. No, but they can't go and act like they have virtue when in the past Howard Stern and Jimmy Kimmel have both done blackface and
right.
degraded women. So give me a fucking break.
Yeah, you can't go one way and then say the other thing. I mean, if he came
Hypocrite.
out and became a priest and say, I forgive, I'm sorry for all I've done, but I don't think he's getting that way either. So, I know.
Yeah, but like both of them feel like they're above the law. I've been on Jimmy Kimmel's show as well, and I was treated really well. But all that was fine until the lockdown came. Okay. When the lockdown came, there was a giant divide in this country. There was the elite, and then all of us little fuckers on the bottom. Okay. And we started to notice who was getting treated better. All of the little mom and pop shops were closed. We were told to shut the fuck up, stay home. You're not allowed to earn any money. You're not allowed to mingle. But Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot were still open. Strip clubs and liquor stores were still open. I'm not religious, but churches were closed. So, like, no, no, we're not taking the shit anymore. I
Yeah.
don't cancel me if you want. Fucking cancel me. I don't care.
You know, it's funny. It came to me when all of a sudden the people that were protesting, they told you to stay inside, that was safe. People that
Oh yeah, I
protested.
know. I know. The Black
That's
Lives
what
Matter.
that.
Like,
That's when it all came to me and said, you know what, this is all stupid.
right.
When
They released all
none
the
of it made sense
prisoners.
at that moment. That's when it
Remember in New
lost
York
it.
City, they dumped all the prisoners out. They released all of the prisoners during the height of the mask frenzy. They released all of the prisoners out into the streets in Manhattan. You don't remember that? Well, we have to because we're so afraid of overcrowding. And this was the summer of BLM.
Yeah,
All the prisoners were released. The border was wide open, and none of them were wearing masks. None of the Black Lives Matter protesters were wearing masks. So they're full of shit.
yeah, it's true.
And
Um,
we
since you're talking about issues, I have one issue for you here. One of the issues that's come up recently with the new president, which I am proud to say I stand with him, is the birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship, very interesting argument that people coming to this country and giving birth so that the child would be a legal citizen. There's been a
anchor baby.
anchor babies, right? And the president put in his proclamations, whatever you call them, that can't go on. And of course, he was the court tried to change that right away. And I can understand somewhat if someone came in, they were pregnant, let's just say, but I think if they're doing it just to get it, someone become a citizen, it doesn't seem like the right thing to do. And I don't know why they can't be changed.
Well, we could just say that if you come here illegally, that means you're breaking the law and you need to leave, whether you're pregnant or not. You should not be able to go to any country illegally. Like I can't just go to Switzerland and move there. I can't just move to England. I would have to marry a Brit and get all this paperwork and shit. So without borders, without sovereignty, you're not a country. So America loves immigrants, but we love legal immigrants. So it doesn't matter if you're pregnant or not. You should have to come through the legal way. You can't just cross over the border, but politicians will always do that because one, cheap labor, two, voting. They use them for votes. And Trump is not going to stop all immigration. That's a lie. He's going to continue to allow Elon and Mark Zuckerberg to import H-1B visa recipients, 50,000 a year, so they can have cheap labor. They will work 80,000 hours. I mean, sorry, they will work 80 hours a week for 40,000 a year. They're going to,
That's an interesting thing about the visas because the H-1B visa, there's two arguments there. Of course, the one argument is we don't have enough people that are quote well educated enough to come in this country.
bullshit,
Oh,
bullshit.
but I
And
know
those people,
there's a way to there is a point in
well, they
between.
can work from home. They can do their coding from India. Okay? They can do their coding from India. They want to import them. And let's just imagine that your cousin or my cousin, a young cousin, went to college, got in student debt. Okay. They went into student debt to learn coding. They get out, they get their diploma, and they go to apply at Tesla or Silicon Valley, and they say, fuck you, because we just imported 50,000 Indians that will do it for half price. Have a nice day. You can go work at Starbucks. That means they're replacing American workers with importing people from India. And by the way, if they are just doing coding and virtual work on the internet, stay the fuck home and do it from there. We're already crowded enough. Our hospitals are overloaded, our public transportation, everything. We need to start over, okay? Start over.
Question. You took that H-1B visa and you said the American worker is $80,000 and the foreign workers has to start at $80,000.
Right.
Same.
No, no, they will get 40,000. They will get
No.
40,000.
Yeah, no, but if you change the law, whatever the American worker gets paid, the foreign worker has to get paid the same exact
They
money.
won't
You
though.
have to, you have to put the ad in the same amount of time. And if you don't get an American worker, if you don't get an American worker, that doesn't show up, that doesn't think, then you're the foreign worker. But it has to be the same amount of hours. They have the same, like they have the same days off, the same stuff. Everything's the same. Would
They're
that,
not going to get it though.
but that's what
And
they
that's
need.
why, isn't it funny on X, as soon as like weeks before Trump got into office, Elon and Vivek thought they were so fucking fun and cool. Like, oh yeah, we're going to import all these Indians with the H-1B visa, and we're like, didn't you get the message? We want to deport, not import. What part of that don't you understand? And people went fucking nuts on X with the memes. They were bombing them with memes, like slamming them. And then suddenly Elon's like, change the subject. Let's talk about England. Let's talk about the grooming gangs. Elon changed the subject like that, and Vivek was let go. Vivek is no longer going to work for Doge, DOGE, the Department of Government, whatever, efficiency. He's fired. Like we spoke up on X, we're like, no. Okay, no. Did you not get the fucking memo? America first.
Right, right. Well, I
Okay, so
mean,
now
to
Elon
me,
change
to
the
me,
subject.
they
No,
have
we're
to.
not talking about the grooming gangs in England. Oh, look at all these Muslims grooming all these girls and fucking all these young kids and da, 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 da. We're like, that's why we don't want them here. Hello? And don't give me that. No, the number two religion in India is Islam. It's not, they're not all Hindus. They're half Islam, half Muslim in in India and Pakistan's all and all the Africans. So like I'm sorry, like I don't like religion at all, but like when you mix it with politics, it becomes a big mess. And
Well,
Elon needs to stay in his fucking lane. I used to like him, now I don't.
I would say again, if we do these H-1B visas, like I said before, and the two conditions, just remember the conditions, they have to look for an American worker first. They have to do the same, pay the same exact salary as they would do for American worker, and they have to give them the same thing. And they have to do it for a certain period of time. If they did that, that's fine. If they don't, I would be against H-1B visas.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're
Well, then,
not going to.
well, if they don't, then I'm on your
I'm not
side.
telling Elon what to do, by the way. Good luck.
I haven't talked to Elon yet, but maybe he's my next guest on the
Oh,
show.
he's not gonna, I mean, I think he's quirky and funny and stuff, but like he's overstepping boundaries talking about importing people to our country. Like, no.
Right. All right. No, you have a good point
We're
there.
suffering here. People are living in tents in
Yeah.
North Carolina. People are homeless now in California because of the fires.
And
We
that
need
could have
to,
been the fires could have been avoided, and hopefully we'll get a better system. I mean, Trump was talking about making sure the aid goes directly to the people and not through these big government agencies called FEMA. So I
yeah.
don't know if that will be effective, but again, we're making major changes, which is good to see.
Trump
I have,
also
I
said
have
it looks like California's been hit. He said, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say what it is, but it looks like California's been hit. And what he means is DEW, which is direct energy weapons. Just like in Hawaii, this waterfront prime property was like that. They're lasers, if you look up DEW, okay? They're lasers, they can start fires, and drones can start fires. But by the way, drones can also put out fires. So the government in California had no excuse. They could have used drones to put out those fires. They could have done, rain seeding, cloud seeding. They could have helped, but they wanted it to burn to the fucking ground so they can make a smart city. If you Google Smart City 2028 LA, you'll see pictures. They had a plan what the smart city in Los Angeles is going to look at. It's already been on the website since 2020. Smart City 2028. They're getting rid of the land. I mean, they can't say to all those people in Pacific Palisades, hey, can you guys move? Because we really want to build like a smart city here. People would say, fuck you. So they just burnt everything. They let everything burn to the ground. And now they're going to have smart cities and they're building a railway there. I
well,
mean,
oh,
that's what it is.
I hope you're wrong. I hope, but you know what? In this world, you never know. I have some interesting stocks, by the way. Something interesting for you. There's a stock that these are all low went down. Nvidia went down a lot because it's a Chinese thing, and it might be a good investment now at the price. And also Utz Brands. Utz Brands is they make a lot of chips. I don't know if Robert Kennedy is going to have a big problem with the. He's very into the health and nutrition. He may not
Love
be
them.
right to the Utz chips and stuff. Do you have a interesting point when you brought that up about that? Is that are you concerned about the types of food we're eating? Do you think that's why we're having so many problems in health? And do you agree with Robert Kennedy in that stance about that as well?
Yeah, there's chemicals. I mean, I that stuff wouldn't happen to me really unless they put pesticide on my arugula lettuce and my tomatoes and stuff. But like if you're sitting around eating Cheetos and stuff from bags. If you're eating shit food, you go to Burger King or Five Guys or McDonald's and all that. I mean, you are what you eat. If you're going to eat garbage, you're going to be garbage. I mean, I eat salad like every day. I have organic beef, which I eat every other day, and I eat whole wheat bread, like those whole wheat pitas. You have to really read the label, no high fructose corn syrup,
Cheat
no
at
sugar.
all? You seem like you're very good with it. Do you cheat? Do you have like a piece of cheesecake once in a while or a cookie?
No, if I cheat, I mean, like if my son, I have a 12-year-old son, let's say he gets a piece of carrot cake and he doesn't eat the whole thing, I'm like, well, somebody's got to eat it. But like I eat a bar of chocolate every day, 100% lint, Swiss,
100%.
no sugar, because I'm sweet
100%?
enough. Huh?
Wow, 100%.
100%, there's no sugar.
You do also
And
do the cold showers too?
I do turn it on cold when I'm done. I mean, I'm 57. I can't hide my age anymore.
Oh,
And
you're good for 57. Maybe I should be doing the cold showers too, but I don't
and I
know.
don't smoke. I
Right.
don't drink. I don't go out to bars or anything. I'm just super busy. Like, I have a son, three cats, almost 900 employees. I'm painting in the inside of my house and I'm editing my book. And I'm almost done now that I'm using AI. I downloaded Chat GPT or something. And what was going to take me forever is going to get done really quickly now because I'm copying and pasting. And I'm like, can you fix the spelling shit in here? And they do it like that. So the book should be done pretty quickly. I mean, I wrote a book in 99 in Germany called Mein hautnahes Leben mit dem Popstars. I speak fluent German. I'm not German. I just married a German. That's why I have that last name, Stein. And wouldn't mind getting rid of it and using my biological father's last name, Giacomini. Hey, Salvatore Giacomini. But right
Did
now I'm
you
stuck.
do you talked about the idea. What kind of massage do you do? Is it considered? I know the Swedish massage. There's Asian massage. I think is different.
Well, I personally do deep tissue. Like I have invented my own repertoire over the years. But like if you go to my website and you want a massage in Switzerland or Norway, like my employees are in Sweden, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, France, Spain, Portugal, Norway, everywhere you can imagine. I have
Well, they have
people.
to be trained. You have a certain training you have to go through to become
I
a.
don't have to train them. They have to have their own massage diplomas,
Oh,
certification, license. I have people in Australia and New Zealand. And so like when people are on tour, Mexico, when a rock band's on tour, like Def Leppard used just this past tour, even though I met them in 83, me and Phil and his wife Helen are still friends. So when they go on tour, they say, hey, Dot, we need a massage at every single one of these shows on the tour at 2 p.m. for 4 hours. And I have someone there on the dot massaging them. And
they do.
everybody,
So they do the same technique you do. Do they do the bite? Do they just do the
well,
same
they
thing?
have to do deep tissue, but they can also offer other modalities. Like you can read about it. It's like a menu if you go to my website and you look up, oh, well, I want hot stone. So you look on my website and find
I got
somebody in your
you.
area who does hot stone. But like my customers usually want deep
Wow.
tissue. We don't pet people. We're
Oh.
like really, really assertive.
So you're probably a very strong person
Yeah.
physically. Do the massages after a while.
No
It's
pain,
every
no gain. No pain, no gain. Like people don't come to me for like a relaxing massage. They want to be able to walk differently when I'm done with them. And I
so
make
when you're
sure
right. So how many? If I have my right now, my back is bothering. How many massages
that
would
you're
it?
crooked. You look like a Vermont back road.
Oh no, I'm in a very bad spot. This chair's not so best, but but how many massages would it take for me to feel better? With one
Probably
massage?
actually I know a girl who's right in your area. She's Chinese. She's not on my website, but
Oh,
I'd still let you go see her. I mean, even though she's not on my website, she kicked my ass. What was her name? I have her name. I think her name's Lily. She's in right next to Nyack, right in your
oh,
area.
oh, very good. Oh, that's good. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
do
give
it.
you the number. She's
Okay.
brutal.
Brutal.
She
I need a
walked
brutal
on me,
massage.
twisted me around, and gave me acupuncture. She's not even that expensive.
Just so I need a brutal massage, huh?
Yeah, but I won't hire her because she doesn't deliver. You know what I mean? Like we deliver. We go backstage, we go to people's homes,
Right.
and when they're in the recording studio, we show up with a
The
massage chair.
massage help you with mental health also, as well as physical health?
Yeah, absolutely. It slows you down. It makes you feel appreciated, and it gives you unconditional love. I mean, you have to pay for it, but like, you know how when people get together and they have sex, it's like you have to work at this pleasure. But when you get a massage, you just lay there and you get relieved, not sexual pleasure. Please don't go down that road. It says on my website, by the way, any request for a happy ending results in an unhappy ending. Everyone always thinks that because there's some cute pictures of me on the internet wearing a nurse's costume that we give blowjobs and all. No, we don't. No, we don't. We're really fucking strict. Any request for like happy endings, I mean, we take that shit so seriously.
Right. I have a business concept. I have a business concept idea that I like to tell people, and this is for me because I have my dogs. I'm a big lover of dogs, but they should have dog school, and I mean serious school, where they go to classes and you get trained with your owner, and then there's personal training because every dog learns a thing, and you go like every week and you learn a different thing with your dog, and you know how smart your dog is. Like a
Yeah.
dog school. Pretty cool. I thought, yeah.
Even though I'm a cat person, I mean, I don't have time for a dog. I have three cats.
No,
And
cats aren't as friendly to you as dogs.
no, but like
Very dependent.
a lot of work. I have Ringo, Tucker, and Candy. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Ringo Starr.
Very good, very good. Okay, trending news before I go. Trending news also. There was an earthquake in Boston. Boston, of all places, an earthquake.
Um, you know, I happen to think that a lot of things, I don't trust our government. They'll do anything to push their agenda. They will release a virus, make everybody sick, and force you to take a jab to get their fucking point across. So, is there a such thing as weather manipulation? HAARP. You can Google HAARP. You can Google DEW and see. And what about Operation Popeye? Was it called Operation Popeye? Where in the Vietnam War they made it rain. They did cloud seeding to make it rain. So, like, I don't know, they're really pushing this climate change thing. And by the way, Al Gore used to call it global warming until we proved to him that he's full of shit. More people freeze to death than die from heat exhaustion. And so now they changed it to climate change because that's the only way they can get us in line and make us behave. And so they're pushing for the climate change thing. Like now they can't push COVID again because we're like, fuck you, we're not doing it. So they're like, what can we do now to scare everybody and lock them down? Climate change. Let's start fucking with the weather. And by the way, not for nothing, but you didn't talk about the drones. There's drones everywhere. All night, I go out and then look up in the sky. They're not airplanes. I know what airplanes sound like. Airplanes they fly in a straight line. These drones are like moving in weird circles.
So have you
And
still the drones? There's still the drones out there, huh?
I filmed it last night, Facebook Live. There's like eight of them just in my area. And I went to Rutherford to go to
they
the
need a
ATM.
massage.
They're everywhere, huh?
Maybe they're aliens that need massages.
No, they're not aliens. They're Chinese.
That's
They're
just like
Chinese. They're Chinese drones.
crazy stuff.
China's own a lot of land in America, mostly around our military camps. And what do you think they're doing on that land? You think they're growing corn or something? No, they have warehouses full of drones and other shit, and they're just looking around for where their next smart city is going to be. So if my house gets burnt down from fire, by the way, what about those smart meters? Everyone keeps saying that the smart meters that were put on our houses are going to catch fire. I'm petrified now. I called PSEG. I'm like, I didn't ask for a smart meter. Why do I have a smart meter? And they're like, well, tough shit. If you don't like it, you have to pay $12 a month and $45 for us to come and change it back. So like if you Google smart meters, do they cause fire? I get scared as hell now. You know what I mean? Like I asked somebody how much would it cost to
I
paint my
think
roof?
you're gonna need a massage yourself after this conversation.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, making sure.
I'm not one of those just Netflix and chill kind of people because that's how our country got in such a mess because of that Netflix and chill. They want
Right.
us to be fucked up on weed. That's why weed is legal now and drugs are legal. And that's why in California they have little mobile vans that drive around and give out needles and
Yeah,
crack pipes to give out crack pipes and needles. They don't like the
unbelievable.
plastic straws, but you're allowed to have needles to shoot up and crack pipes to smoke because they want you fucked up and compliant. Just lay on your couch and watch Netflix while we, put you into a digital currency jail. So, I used to just talk about music all the time, but since the lockdown, I'm like, I don't like the government.
I see that.
And
No,
by
no.
the way, anyone who
Okay,
screams about
so
one
I
more
could
thing,
say one thing I hate, which you both think, I think is I hate when government overregulates us and over controls us. How's that?
yeah, but
I like freedom.
you're screaming about my body, my choice. Like,
Right,
my body, my choice. That's fine. If you want to have an abortion, do it. Knock yourself out. I don't give a fuck. But I don't want to pay for it. Don't
right.
use my tax dollars to pay for it. And when my body, my choice, don't force me to take a medication that I don't want to. That my body, my choice works both ways. You can't scream with a sign saying my body, my choice, but take that vaccine. Those are called hypocrites.
Yeah, that's a lot of people like that. I have a different view on that issue, but okay. So I also want to bring up what I think is wrong. I'm gonna bring up something that I was wrong about. See, I was wrong. I like to say when I change, and I was wrong about illegal immigration. When I was young in life, I didn't think it was a big deal. I used to think, who's gonna cut the grass, who's gonna pick the fruit, who's gonna
An
do.
elitist way of thinking. That's an elitist way of
I know I
thinking.
was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah,
I think that,
That's how Nancy
I-
Pelosi thinks.
right. And what changed my mind was the fentanyl coming in and the gangs coming in and the young girls, boys that are brought
Laken
in.
Riley, Laken Riley, is that her name?
Well, no, I'm talking about the young kids they use for prostitution. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about all those young kids like they couldn't find a quarter million kids or something like that, and those kids are being abused by these pimps out there. So all those things changed my mind about illegal immigration, but I'm willing to say I was wrong. That's one of my things I like to do.
And so you
So
want me to say what were you wrong about?
what's that?
So you're getting at what should
I'm
I say?
admitting I was wrong about illegal immigration. As my
Oh,
thought
well,
younger.
I was wrong about worshiping, rock stars and celebrities because guess what? The pandemic proved to us that nobody is essential except doctors, firemen, policemen. They're essential.
And also the person that works in your grocery store that makes sure the food's delivered.
The
And the
farmers,
person that
my
takes your
God,
garbage.
the farmers, number one, the farmers, the truck drivers, the police, the doctors, they are essential. Celebrities are not. And by the way, when is that Epstein fucking client list coming out? Hello?
Well, hopefully Trump will release that because he's releasing a lot of stuff like the Kennedy files, which I give him a lot of credit because it's a little scary might happen.
We want
Oh,
the Epstein files.
all right, well, we're going to talk to him about that afterwards. Pellegrino looks very good. I also talk about podcasts that I enjoy to listen to when I'm driving, and there's a new one I've been listening to. Hello from the Magic Tower. It's a very silly show. It's a podcast where he interviews like fairies and stuff. It's really weird, but if you just want a good escape once in a while, it's sort of fun. And I was also going to say,
What you think is fun? I've had enough fun in my life. By the way, I've had the most fun life ever possible. Okay. So now I'm rolling up my sleeves and I'm like, let's save this country. And I'm just eager to learn ways how to save the country.
right.
So I can't, I mean, if I want fun, I'll
I
watch.
think I think I think by the way, this first week that what Trump has done is just amazing. That things that he's done, he's annoyed so many people and that didn't believe it's possible, and other people like just like, wow, I
Yeah,
can't
people in
believe doing that. I
California
can't
are like,
believe he's actually deporting people, like he's actually doing what he says, he's actually saying that there's man and woman. He's actually saying things, he's actually releasing these files on the John F. Kennedy assassination, the Robert. He's actually doing these things that people say you can't do. He's actually giving Israel the right to fight its own battles. He's doing things that people say, no, this isn't. It's so weird, and it's just a refreshing thing. I mean, I'm just like blown away how fast.
I liked it
I-
that
I'm a,
Dr. Fauci's security details were cut. He does not have tax-funded security anymore.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, people want to know more about you. They want a massage. They want to know what they can find out. Can you let me tell everyone about that?
Probably gonna hate me now listening to the way I talk, but I don't give a fuck, honestly. I mean, my phone's ringing off the hook 24/7. People know that wherever they are in the world, whether it's London, LA, Mexico, or Toronto, they just text me and they say, hey, Shinedown will text me, or Def Leppard, or Kid Rock, whatever. They'll text me and say, hey, man, we're in Montreal. We need a chiropractor. And I send one right away, like Uber Eats. I just send them out there. I only take 20% from my staff. I'm really fair and I don't touch their tips, no tax on tips. My staff loves me. I told them all, I do not make you get vaccinated. I do not make you wear masks. That's your body, your choice.
So we're saying with if they wanted, people need to. What's your website if they want to get a massage or they want to
Google
watch
Dr.
your
Dot.
Facebook? So everything's
Google
Dr.
Doc,
Dot,
just Google Dr. Dot and my website comes
Facebook
up.
or you have my Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff too. I mean,
Oh, you don't want to see my Twitter page because I am a smart ass and I use a fake name because I am a savage. I mean, I just got out of Facebook. I mean, ex jail. I was in jail for a week for the stupidest thing. Elon posted an old picture of himself with long hair and he looked pretty hot. And I was like, I'd shag you silly. And boom, instant jail for a week. You know what shag means?
Right,
I
right.
said I'd shag you silly, and I got in jail for a week. Hello, there's porn on X. How do I know? Because there's a Labour Party leader in England who just got and he thought he was showing up to meet a 15-year-old boy when it was actually the police in England. And Paul Joseph Watson did a video about it, like it exposed him. And then he goes, "You don't want to see his X page." So I went on to X and I looked at this guy's page. There's nothing but porn on his page. So how is there porn allowed, but I'm not allowed to say I'd shag you silly, like a joke, like,
Right.
oh wow, Elon, you're so hot with your long hair. I'd shag you silly. I'm celibate anyways. It was just a joke, and I got in jail for a week. So the
You're
fuck out.
free. You're out of jail, so you're good. You got clemency.
I'm out of jail, so now I can be a savage. But all you have to do is Google Dr. Dot.
Oh,
You'll see my website. I'm on Instagram and TikTok with an S, DRDOTS. And I post little clips on there giving advice and rockstar stories. I tell, the story about Kanye West and Def Leppard and Mariah Carey. Like I do little clips and it's just hard to find time. As you could see, it was a pain in the ass to even get me on here because I don't know how to, the settings, I look all blurry and white and stuff. I'm not a professional videographer, but yeah,
you did a
if you
great
can't find
job.
me, you're not trying. Hmm?
You did a great job with this. Very nice job. I want to end with a final note, and it's from a TV show I've been watching called American Primeval. And it's actually it deals with you to some degree. They had an episode where a young kid got hurt really badly, and he just said to them, "It's only pain. In life, we all going to go through pain. God willing, we have the strength to overcome that pain because it's difficult. But pain is a way for us to get stronger and be better in life. It helps us overcome things. So it's only pain in life, guys, out there. And you're going to overcome it. You're going to be stronger, and it's going to make you a better person. I thank you all for watching our show, and all the best in the coming week. Have a great one. Thank you.
Having me.
Thank you so
See you
much.
later.
Bye bye.